my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot, with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. And with that, I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And if you're new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we are all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And if you are truly new here, this is that reminder for anyone that we do things completely different on this channel. So I suggest strapping in, hanging on, and we're going to find out together along the way. Should they resonate with you, any of the messages, it would truly mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. But today we are asking, what's your vibe? And I was called to use the Healing the Inner Child Oracle, which might sound strange, but we're actually going to be looking into also what role your inner child is playing in regards to your vibe. So this is kind of like a two-part situation, but it is actually just really looking into what your vibe is right now. And when we're talking about your vibe, this is the vibe you're giving off for other people. This is the vibe that you're in right now energetically. And this can shift at any time, right? Like, you're always growing and changing and evolving. So this can always grow, change, evolve, and shift as well. With that, let's hop to our prayer. Today we're using a myrrh incense, which smells so good. It makes me think of like there's a lot of nostalgia with it, but I'm not, like, I know a little bit about what the nostalgia is, but some of it I'm just not. It's like, I remember it. I just really remember it. But I don't know what memories are tied to it. It's interesting. Which I feel like is telling, right? And for this reading as well. There might be some memories, or you're remembering who you are coming through as we get into this. Alright. Okay, Source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. Today I ask that you help us open up to the truth of who we are at our authentic core, knowing that even if we're different, if we're weird, if we're strange, if we're unusual, that is all perfect. That you created us in this light, that you created us in this way so that we could bring forth a different form of expression of you in this 3D realm. That no matter what, at the end of the day, we are all truly connected, and no one is disconnected unless they believe they are. But that doesn't make it the truth. Right? At our core, we are still all connected and in this place of love, in this realm of love, in the spiritual divine realm. We're asking because we want to know more about ourselves, and to know about ourselves helps us to heal even deeper about ourselves. So I ask that you bring forth the messages that you deem necessary at this time, what it is that we need to hear. It's not about what we want to hear, it's about what we need to hear in this time that helps us along our journey, that helps us discover ourselves even deeper, that helps us trust that you are bringing forth the messages and synchronicities that we are asking for and needing at this time as well. More importantly, above all this, I ask that you wrap any and everyone here in your guiding love and in your guiding light, and remind them that they're not alone, that they are deeply loved and they are deeply supported along this journey, and that we are all in this together. We can all choose to step up and be in this together. As these words are spoken upon this reading and onto this tribe, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Hase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved Source. Thank you. All right. So let me get that set up over here. If it's going to stay in the holder. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we're using this deck. It is by Nina Mangendre, if you're wondering. This is such a beautiful deck. It's absolutely wonderful to work with. I highly recommend it. No, I'm not getting a sponsorship for that. It's just, I truly love working with this deck. So, Source, what is my fellow humans' vibe? What would you like us to know today? What is our vibe? What is my fellow humans' vibe, Source? What would you like them to know? What is my fellow humans' vibe today, Source? Thank you. What is my fellow human's vibe? Alright, source, for pile number 1, what Healing the Inner Child Oracle card is going to help us better understand pile number 1's vibe? What is pile number 1's vibe, source? Okay, it's this one here. Thank you. And for pile number 2, source, what Healing the Inner Child Oracle is going to help us better understand what pile number 2's vibe is? Oh, okay, thank you. And for pile number 3, source, what Healing the Inner Child Oracle card is going to help us better understand what pile number 3's vibe is? Okay, thank you. All right, collective energy on the bottom of the deck. We have resource. So the vibe that you're currently in is manifestation, right? You all are in this place of realizing just how powerful you are and how you are capable of creating the life that you desire as long as you tap into your inner resources and allow them to guide you. And opening up to the potential and the possibility that resides there, right? Sometimes we have to be creative when we're using our resources. Sometimes we really have to open up to that and know that it's not about perfecting it. It's about learning how to navigate when things maybe don't go our way or when things are a little bit off center or skewed, right? So it's coming back to this place of knowing that we can reach deep within ourselves and connect with that infinite wisdom. And this is the vibe that you're in right now. This is a vibe that people are feeling. Like, you're very resourceful, you're very knowledgeable and have a lot of wisdom, and that you are helping others to find courage to begin where they're at in this moment. So we're going to read this card from the book and see what else it says here. Okay, it says, for many of us, perfectionism, shame, and unworthiness are companions on this life journey. Asking for help can remind us of our vulnerability and limitation as a human being, and it can be overwhelming. This card invites you to rest and lean into the resources within and all around you. Nobody can do it alone. The gift and the curse of childhood are the inherent dependence on others for survival. As we grow up, we push this awareness of our vulnerability away because of the wounding it caused and what it has cost us, our authenticity. We move through our life holding on to too much, striving to do it all, out of the fear of becoming dependent again. One of the deepest resources we have is our connection to our essence. Offer yourself the gift of bowing to your infinite wisdom. This card reminds you that it is time to receive support from the resources around you and within you. We can only give what we allow ourselves to receive. What resources did you have as a child? Did you suck your thumb or hug a special stuffed animal? Was there a caregiver that you could run to who would hold you and comfort you? Feel into your younger self needs from you at this moment. Do they want to show you or remind you of something? As you hold your younger self in your lap, tell them it is safe to ask and it is safe to receive. Nothing you do can make you lose my love. And that's the vibe that you're in right now, is you're being very resourceful and you're asking others for help. You're relying on others for help at this time. And maybe you're not physically asking, but I do feel like there is a reliance here where it's like, I have to trust that this person is going to be there, or the situation, even, it could be a circumstance, is going to be there to support me. This could even be source, right? And the vibe is that you're trusting in this process fully and wholly, and that's a vulnerability. And it's that vulnerability of trust that is actually reverberating out into the world and giving others this inner feeling of trust that, hey, we can trust that too. Like, it's okay that we rely on source for help, or we rely on our guides for help, or we rely on, these different things. And so you're giving guidance in the sense of helping others find freedom from dependence of the construct, or freedom from the dependence of feeling like I have to fit in, or there's like a freedom from dependence here, but there's also a dependability that's coming through as well. And that's the vibe that the whole collective is in right now. What a powerful vibe. Wow, I love that. Okay, so I did roll these, and we got Mercury on both the green dice, so I thought that was funny, and then Venus in between, and it rolled out this way, right? This one landed here, this one landed there, and that one landed way over here. I had to stop it from rolling off the table. I just put my hand up, I was like, oh no! And I thought that was funny that Mercury came out on 2 of the dice. And remember, the dice is just something extra that you can pick from, okay? It's not that the reading has anything to do with that. Although I have found many times that it does come up in the reading as well. Not always, but sometimes. So for pile number 1, we do have this Mercury dice. If we get, there we go, for you to choose from. Or we have this green aventurine piece for you to choose from. Pile number 2, we have this beautiful dice with Venus on it. Or we have this red jasper for you to choose from. And pile number 3, we have this dice with Mercury on it. Or we have this shard of crystal quartz for you to choose from. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the one for you. And with that, I will see you over on your chosen pile. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Mercury on it, if you were drawn to this piece of green aventurine, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on what is your vibe. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. If you are truly new here, we do things completely differently on this channel, so I do just suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. Should the messages happen to resonate with you along the way, it would truly mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. All right, with that, if you didn't catch the intro, just a quick reminder, we are using the Healing the Inner Child Oracle card because we are going to find out the part that your inner child is playing in your current vibe, okay? So this is your current vibe, how you're vibing out to people, the vibe that you have internally. We're going to see how it comes across, okay? So, source, what is pile number 1's vibe right now? Who would you like to let us know? What is their vibe? Where are they at? What is their vibe for pile number 1 source? What is pile number 1's vibe? Okay, wow. So we've got the 9th house. We've got Aquarius energy and Jupiter. Awesome. You are being seen right now as someone who's very lucky, okay? So your vibe is coming off as like you draw in luck, you're a very lucky person, you're connecting with a higher source, you're connecting with the divine realm, the spirit realm, whatever you want to call it, God, Buddha, the gods, the goddesses, none of that matters. It's whatever you feel is right for you. And right now, you're also being seen by other people as this very unique individual. So your vibing is like setting a trend here. Your vibing is someone who is ready and willing to be different. If I don't fit in, I don't care anymore. And because of that, it's giving you so much luck, right? Maybe you don't feel that way right now, but this is something that you're going to start seeing regularly come up in your life. There's going to be so much luck that's coming into your energy and into your life. And currently, there's a huge shift here for you, it feels like. I do feel like you're vibing so much, like you're very magnetic. And it's part of it is, it's interesting because I was saying that the dice might not have anything to do with the ones you pick from, but they said right away it was the way that you speak, the way that you talk, how you talk to people or how you present yourself to people is very different. It's unique in of itself. No one else has ever talked to someone who talks the way that you do or presents themselves the way that you do. And so your vibe right now is that everything about you stands out. You're very educated, you're very knowledgeable, you're very wise. And right now you're vibing in this place of letting your culture shine or letting your ethics shine and letting the truth of who you are shine, being very authentic. So your vibe is very authentic. And it's even more authentic than it has been in the past. You feel like you're understanding much more about yourself. And so as you're vibing with yourself and others start to vibe with you, you're also being very, very magnetic right now. I feel like everybody wants to be your friend. They're like, oh my gosh, I have to be pile number one's friend. They're so cool. Like, people approaching you out and about, wanting to talk to you about anything and everything. You might see people just start talking to you and telling you random stories that you're like, why do people tell me these random stories about them? So things like you would never tell to someone else, they're telling you, right? That's what it feels like. It's because they want to start out in these very deep conversations, hoping that that's like a way to get into your good graces, a way to get into a friendship with you. And for you, it's like we're passing in the night. This is nothing that's ever going to go very far because, you know, I'm just not there with you, or we're not vibing together like that. Like, I don't mind talking to you, but we're not vibing like that together. Even if you might think we are, it's because your vibration makes people feel so good. It's like a drug. I want more pile number one. I need more pile number one. And you might find that people, even when you're ready to leave, you're like, okay, well, it's been great talking to you. I hope you have a great day. Hope everything's okay with you. And, you know, later. And when you're trying to walk away, they're like, oh, but wait, let me tell you this. Oh, but wait, I got something else to share with you. Oh, but wait. And they want you to wait. And you're like, I really gotta go. I got to go, friend. It's been nice, but I really have to go. And the reason they're doing that is because you feel like abundance. So you're vibing at a very high vibration right now. You are coming across as this very abundant being, but also disassociated. You're not looking for other people's validation. It's, you know, it's not like I'm over here expecting people to see me as different. You're realizing you are different. And as you're realizing that, it's like, well, I'd rather embrace the fact that I'm different than to try to impress everybody. And because you're embracing your differences, everybody is impressed. And that was never what you were going for. You were always going for, I'm just going to be who I am. And now everybody wants to be your friend. They're like, hey, friend. And you're all, we're not really friends. Very intelligent. Very intelligent. Your intelligence is next level. Something about the way you talk just shows intelligence. And you're very altruistic. A lot of good things happen when you're around. I feel it's not just people feeling good, but I feel like you being around in their energy brings that luck to them. It's almost rubbing off on them. Your luck, your wealth, your abundance. It's not you giving it away to them, but it's like generosity, your humor, your morality, your goodwill. It's you being you that brings people up. You force people to raise their own vibration, and because they're raising into a vibration that they not consciously wanting to go to themselves or haven't been in before, that makes them come up into this place of abundance. And it's you're the one that's done that. It's an interesting story. I like that. I like the way you do business. From Four Brothers. That's coming out right now. Okay, that's funny. That's such an intense movie. Alright, let's see. We're going to use the Osho Zen Tarot today. So, Source, what is pile number 1's vibe? Yeah, the rebel. This, like, slid out of the deck. This is the Emperor energy, the rebel. Yeah, you rebel against societal constructs. You look different. You act different. You walk different. You talk different. You know, everybody's trying to find the new, what is it? The new, slang, and you're over here like, I'm cool just talking from the English dictionary, y'all. Like, that's what it is. That's what it feels like. It's not trying to fit in with everybody in their, what's the new word? Riz, I guess? I don't know. Is that the right word? I don't know. That's what's coming through. They said, you're not trying to fit in with everyone's riz. What did we used to say when I was growing up? We used to razz people. Now it's riz, I guess. I don't know. We're just going to go with it. Anyways, you're not trying to fit in with all that, right? You're not trying to change your vocabulary so that people understand you today. It's basically, if you want to understand where I'm coming from, then use your language, the way that you were taught your language, not all the slang that there is today. It's interesting that slang is coming out. Yeah, consciousness. Yeah, you're very straightforward as well. What's pile number 1's vibe, Source? Wow, aloneness. I'm not afraid to stay in the dark. I'm not afraid to be in the shadow. I'm not afraid to be alone. Yeah, but you're so bright. You just living your best life over here, living it up. What's that song? It was that by Ja Rule. Every time you're living it up. Dun, dun, dun. What is that? Is that Ja Rule, that living it up? That's coming in right now. Yeah, you're living it up. I love that song. It's so funny I can't remember it right now because I haven't heard it in so long. But yeah, living it up. I think it's by Ja Rule. I think that's right. Inner voice. Yeah, your vibe right now is just, it sounds weird to say it this way, but that's how they're showing me. It's like forcing people into a vibration of happiness. So if people are miserable, you walk in and your energy and your vibration forces them up into a higher vibration of happiness. So for just a moment, they forget all their problems when you're around. Even if you don't talk to these people, it's your energy being in that space. So say you walk into the grocery store, the whole grocery store feels your presence. And your vibration is of such in a place where it's putting people outside of their normal energy level. So where they're normally miserable or thinking about all the bad things that are happening to them or stuck on the negativity, you walk in and your vibration is so bright and light and fun and happy and just authentic that it's bringing them up into this vibration of happiness within themselves. And we see that here. It's like oftentimes you're seen by yourself, or even if you're with family, like you're alone and you're willing to go do things by yourself. So you might go, say, have a grocery list and you might go away and be like, okay, what's the next few things that we need on the list? And even though you're shopping with family, you go and get things because you like to be alone. You like to be by yourself a lot, but it's like, this is something we're doing together. Or like if you do laundry together, or if you do anything together, there's an element where you're still drawing away from that, and your vibe, as soon as you draw away from everybody, it even gets higher because you're in your element, you're with yourself, right? With the hermit energy here, it's that aloneness that puts you even into a higher vibration, and you're teaching people how to see the light in the darkness just by being the light. And with the 9 of Cups here with laziness, this is seeing beyond all illusion, right? People might call you lazy because you live it up. You are living your best life. Like when you're off, you might go sit outside with a glass of wine or a beer, or if you don't drink, just, your water and a favorite book, and have your sunglasses and you've got an ottoman and you're kicked back and laying in the sun or just sitting with nature. I do feel like this is outside, or even at home. Maybe you like to take a lot of naps or something like that. And you are really just focused on taking care of yourself. I feel like there's people around you that think that you're lazy, but you're not. You're listening to your intuition because you're so high vibrational that you're constantly guided by your intuition. Your intuition speaks directly to your consciousness. It's not about the gut feeling anymore. This is something you're literally hearing your intuition talk. You're literally hearing your guides talk. You're literally hearing source talk to you, whatever, the Holy Spirit or Jesus or whatever it is. You're hearing that talk to you. And you're knowing like this is how it is now. You're being led by that. You're not questioning it anymore. I feel like before maybe you were questioning it, like, is this real? And now you're realizing, no, this is real because it's guided me to this place of being able to be free and lean into my deeper truth. And maybe when you were growing up, or maybe for a huge portion of your life, you were always on edge. Like, I'm getting this biting your nails. Like, you ever seen cartoons where they're biting their nails and they start at their index finger and they go across all 8 nails and they're like biting across like corn? Like, that's what I'm seeing right now. Like, maybe you're always nail biting, just on the edge of your seat, always in a state of stress, always in a hyper vigilant state. And now you're just like, shoot, let me get my umbrella and go outside and sit on the beach for a while because I can. Because I want to. Because there's nothing else to do. And it's like people who are calling you lazy, they sit back and all they do is on their phones or, arguing with other people. It's like all this time wasted with nothing. And you just sitting in this place of peace. And you being in that state of peace is what draws people in. You may have a regular meditation practice as well. You meditate daily or almost meditate daily, and you also, every time you meditate, brings you up into an even higher vibration, and your peace is what affects others as well. So you're in a very high vibration of peace. Your vibe is just very chilled and relaxed. You're very aware of things. You're also incredibly intuitive and always helping other people see that intuition is not something that should be scary. It's something that should be embraced. And I feel like there's a lot of gratitude that surrounds you by strangers. You might not even know these people, but I feel like there's a lot of people around you that are just so grateful that they ran into you today or that they know who you are. It's interesting. They keep poking at me to share this story with you. And it's like this. I went to the store a couple of weeks ago, and there was this lady there, and she was a bagger. And I always say hello. I always call them by what's on their name tag. I don't even know if that's their real name, if they have their real name tag on or not. But I always call them by their name tag, and I always say hello. I ask how their day is going. It's something I've always done. It's just something I appreciated when I worked in retail. And so, the lady, she came over and I said hello to her, and she was looking up at the sky, and she had to look down at me with her head up at an angle. And I didn't think anything of it. It didn't bother me. It wasn't like I was like, oh my gosh, like, what's wrong with you? Like, I did not think anything of it because I don't know her story. And right away she says, I'm really sorry. I have a bad spasm in my neck. It's this crick in my neck, and I can't get it out. It hurts a lot, and I don't know what to do, and I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. And I was like, oh, I never imagined you were being rude. It didn't even occur to me what was going on. I was like, I'm so sorry that you have this spasm in your neck. Well, I started talking to her about yoga, and she was like, yeah, I usually go to a physical therapist. And I was like, well, wait until you're on your break. And I gave her some movements to do. And I told her, listen to your body, right? Listen to what your body is telling you. And if your body says stop, stop. Like, don't keep pushing it. But this should help release your neck. This should help relax your shoulders. Oftentimes our tension that's coming in our neck is because we're very stressed out and we're not being flexible in our life. We're not allowing ourselves to look around and see other things. And I was just telling her this is what I've learned through my journey. And I told her about my back injury that I had back in 2015. I broke my back, and she's like, oh my gosh. And I said, so I've done it all. I've gone through it all. And I was like, I definitely can understand how frustrating this can be, and especially having to go to work with all this pain. And when I left. I talked to her the whole time she bagged, and I said, well, hopefully our conversation made bagging go faster for you. And she put the last bag in the cart. I was trying to help her move the bags into the cart, and she put the last bag in the cart, and she came around the cart, and she gave me a hug, and she said, thank you so much. She's like, just thank you. I just want you to know how grateful I am that I got to talk to you. And I feel like that's the type of energy that you bring to people. You're not trying to judge them. You're not trying to pinpoint stories on them. You're not trying to be like, oh, what are they doing? They're being weird. You're just being you and showing up. And if people share their story with you, you're giving love back to them. And it's just a complete stranger. Like, I haven't seen her since at the store. Like, maybe I just don't go when she's working. I don't know. That was just a one-off. It was the very first time I'd seen her there, and I've been at this store quite a few times already. And it was just one of those moments, right? And you have that effect with people. That's what they're showing. It's like people are just, look at this. Look at the camera is tripping. It's tripping. Stop, homie. Stop. Okay. Are you going to stop? Ultra wide, standard. We don't know what's going on here. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me pause it. Let me see if I can stop it. No, it's not letting me do anything. Okay, I'm going to have to stop the video and start over because this is tripping out. Are you... Oh, wait. We're thinking about it. No. No, okay, I'm going to stop the video and come right back. Okay, yeah, so that's zooming in and out. That's the thing. It's like your energy is magnified. Even when you're far away, it's magnified. And that's what I feel like that in and out was saying. It's just your energy is very magnified, and people recognize that. And so when you impress upon others, and we're very wide here. See my altar? Okay, too far. I want to be at 1. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. I think just a little bit in. I don't know. It's just going past it. It's not... Okay, there we go. I don't know. It's being wonky right now. I feel like that's a thing. Like, when people have wonky energy, you're cleansing it without even recognizing, and that's your vibe right now. So people are very impacted by you. So even if you're helping someone else, like, other people are impacted by your positivity. Other people are impacted by your bright light. Other people are impacted by your high vibration. And maybe when you're giving messages to another person without realizing it, you're also giving messages to someone who's a bystander. They're recognizing, oh, like, hey, that resonates with me. I can use that too. Or, you know, it's just you being you is very impactful, and that's your vibe right now. North Node, destined to have, because you're walking in your North Node energy. This is the energy that you've meant to be in. I feel like you're uncovering a part of yourself that had been covered for so long, that had been hidden for so long, and so it's really starting to show. Yeah, there's a volcano with volatility here, showing that maybe you had a lot of anger in your life, or there was a lot of violence in your life, and that kept you from shining your light. You know, when you're in a very difficult situation like that, it's hard for you to know who you are, where you end, and all that volatility it starts. And maybe you think there's a lot of people around you who are angry. There might be one person, or I was getting like that family energy. They might be volatile because you're demanding, or commanding. I should say commanding. It's not even demanding. You're commanding so much attention. And so there might be someone here in your energy that is a little bit volatile because of that. They want the attention. They're angry. They're mad. But you're actually sent to trigger them into healing if they choose to heal. Okay? I'm also getting a message. You see 2, 3, 4 a lot. That's coming through really strongly. But this is Source reminding you that even if other people get angry, don't let that dim you. Don't let that put shade on your light, because you're helping so many people just by being you. Even if this person doesn't get it, or even if these people don't get it, Source has bigger plans for you. Yeah, new beginnings. It's always darkest before dawn. You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot to get to where you are. This is a big deal because you've had to go through it. And I feel like this is Source just reminding you that all those things that have happened in your past, have created the pathway for you to come into this bright light so that you could enjoy yourself. While it is a beautiful thing to be able to help others, right? That's so positive, and that's such a wonderful thing to be able to help others. The most important thing is for us to help ourselves, because if we can't first help ourselves, how can we ever expect to help another person? So I feel like this is what that powerful place is reminding yourself that you're taking care of yourself. You're filling up your own cup, right? You're focusing on what you need and what's best for you at this moment, listening to your guidance, and that is helping you to show up for others in a way that even before you weren't able to. Maybe you were a people pleaser and you couldn't even show up for people that way because of being in that lower vibration. But now being in a higher vibration, you're realizing the impact that you have on others. Change, chameleon with 33 here. Yeah, you no longer blend in. Like, you stand out, right? You're very much seen. There's a lot of people who have their eyes on you. There's a lot of people who celebrate you without realizing. And I feel like there's a lot of people who see you a lot of times and they're celebrating you all the time. And they're just so happy that they get to know you, or they're so happy that they know a way to connect with you. Because you do make a difference in their life. And your vibe right now is just very magnetic. It's very alluring. That's what's coming through. You're in a very alluring energy. Yeah. Growls. We have express yourself through rhythm, movement, by drumming and dancing. And like you walk through life to the beat of your own drum, which makes total sense, especially with the Aquarius energy coming out, right? You make your own music. And maybe you do. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe that's something you're into. But for those of you that aren't, that's fine. It's just saying, like, you dance to the beat of your own drum. Oh, okay. I guess you're getting 2 of these. Swan. Time for a deep dive. Finding balance. You found a resolution to your own problems, and you search for resolutions and solutions to your own problems. And if there isn't one, don't know what it, oh, is it ash? Yeah, I got ash all over my finger. Interesting. I don't know if you can see that. It's like, what is that? It's ash. You look for your own solution, your own resolution, right? And you rise again from the ashes. Oh, okay. That's, yeah, thanks. Thanks, Source. Thanks. I got you. So even if things are difficult, you're still finding ways out. You're still finding ways through, right? I don't know why I keep getting drawn back to this volcano energy. It's almost like maybe there's a past lover who's very violent to you, and I'm so sorry if you've had to deal with that. Like, that's, nobody deserves that. Or this could have been a violent upbringing, or like a very argumentative home, or just a very emotionally disconnected home, a very jealous home. But it's just this reminder that this isn't who you are, right? You're so much more than what you've gone through. Yeah, finding comfort with yourself now. Maybe there was a lot of self-blame or self-rejection, I'm hearing. And now finding comfort with who you are. Embracing the imperfections of yourself. Virgo, tidy up your life. Yeah. Also being humble. Like, you're very humble energy, and you are being of service to others, right? Virgo energy is very much being of service to others. And tidy up your life. I feel like you're very much cleaning and purifying your energy right now as well. Kasimi, seize the sunny opportunities. Yeah, there's a lot of brightness in your life right now. A lot of good energy, a lot of happy times. All right, we're going to get one of these, and then we'll see what we've got going on. Thank you, Source. On the bottom, self-esteem. I possess the gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Exactly. Your self-esteem, the higher your self-esteem is, the higher you're able to bring others. And it's not anything you have to try to do. It's just you being you and feeling good about yourself. Pluto, transform. So your vibe is very transformational. You transform everybody you come into contact with. Even the people who don't like you, you still transform their life in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, house 7, profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partnerships. So here's the thing, this really goes back to that. I feel like this is referring back to this volcano energy here. There's someone in your energy, or has been in your energy recently, that is really upset at you being able to command the energy that you command, or being representative of your vibe. And that's not your fault. That's them having to deal with their own. what did I say? You're incredibly intuitive. Yeah, with cat, intuition. Chameleon again from a different deck. Stay in the background and adapt to the situation rather than being conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. And I feel like that's the thing, like you're trying to blend in, you're not trying to stand out, but by not trying to stand out and being, again, unattached, you're just unattached to the whole situation. I'm unattached to people liking me, I'm unattached to people being in my energy. I just am trying to live my best life and be me, and I know people will find me because of that. You are standing out regardless. It's like no matter how hard you try, there's no blending in. I do feel there's this element of wanting to blend in. Time to heal with Snake. Yeah, you're healing. This deep healing is what is healing others. So your vibration is naturally healing to others. Like we've got 55 and 22. Dragonfly Spirit. Truth transcends illusion. You're a walking embodiment of truth. Yes. Rejection. Okay, so someone feels rejected here by you and they're mad, but that's okay. So again, this volcano or volatility energy coming through. There was a rejection here and they're mad, and that's okay. They can be mad. It doesn't matter. Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Okay, so you're a very courageous person right now and your vibe shows that, right? Also, I feel like people feel rejected by you when you leave, but you know, we can't just be hanging out all the time for people. And I do feel like they get over it with me putting this over the snake energy. I feel like it's also something they're healing. So you might just naturally trigger people, but those triggers immediately are responded with a sense of healing. Let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. We have the Journey card. Look at this kaleidoscope energy here. Why do I hear that song? Hold on. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, is that right? Is that a Beatles song? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I don't know, is that a Beatles song? Is that how it goes? I don't know. That's what I'm hearing right now though. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Yeah, so it's like being the kaleidoscope. I know, I think that song's about drugs. I'm not 100% sure, but it's like you're up in the sky and people are trying to reach you and they can't because you're so high vibrational. I almost turned open right to it. Journey. Actually, I'll hold this up here so you can take a look at it. You might see something in there. It says, tending to your inner child is a hero's journey. If you hold these cards in your hand, you've heard the call and answered it. There are 3 phases in this journey. The departure. Okay, I'm not sure what happened, pile number 1, but whoa, we've got a lot of activity for your reading. I don't know where it ended off, but it kicked me out. I realized it and I was like, oh my gosh. I'm just going to say I'm going to leave this here. If you felt like this was your reading, leave a dolphin or a cat emoji down below. Just say, it is through my kaleidoscope of colors and my high vibration that I heal and help others with love and with light. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I do want to say if you felt like it resonated, it would mean so much if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message for you, File 1. So high vibrational, the camera's freaking out about it. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the Venus symbol on it, if you were drawn to this red jasper, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on what is your vibe. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are new, we do things completely differently around here. So this is that reminder to strap in, hang on, and you and I are going to find out together. Okay, so quickly, I'm not sure what's going on with my camera, but it was tripping out earlier on pile number 1. So I'm going to try to get through pile 2 and pile 3. They might not be as long as pile number 1 just for that reason. I'm not sure what was going on or if that was just what pile number 1 needed on their reading. So yeah, with that, let's get to it. We're going to find out what is your vibe, pile number 2. So Source, what is pile number 2's vibe? What would you like to share with us today? What is pile number 2's vibe? What would you like to say? Okay, so we have the 8th house. We have Saturn and Libra energy. So you're a very fair person. You are someone who's also... You transform others in the darkness. Like, you bring them to the darkness. You bring them into those places where they've usually suffered or had tremendous wounding, and you help them find balance again within that. And it's deeply healing. I feel like that's because you have a lot of experience with struggle and with hardships in your own life. Like, you have a lot of stories. You have a lot of things that you went through. And while that gives you so much experience, just know that it was never your fault and you didn't deserve to go through all those things. And you're a stronger person because of it. Sometimes that's not always enough to bring it at ease, right? But I do feel like you found a sense of peace with what it is that you've been through. I do feel like you're also understanding that because you've had these experiences, and also because you've owned these experiences and integrated the shadow within your journey, that you're capable of helping other people heal from what it is that they've been through, or what it is that they're going through. You could be writing a biography or a novel or a book in order to share these experiences with others as well. That's a very specific message that's coming through. I feel generally, though, you might be the peacekeeper in your family, or you might be the peacekeeper within your circle of friends. And so your vibe is that, like, people come to you to find justice or to keep peace within the situation, because no one can come in and do what you do. They can't bring the clarity. They can't bring the fairness. They can't bring the justice. They can't show people why things are the way that they are, and yet you do at a much deeper level. You help people see, okay, no one's really right or wrong here, but we need to find a middle ground so that we can all move on from this together. And you're taking on a very difficult burden here. You're taking on something that is very hard and very harsh and very, like, a lot of people aren't going to do that. But it also creates an environment where people trust for you to help transform those shadowy situations, those dark situations, those very icky, sticky, yucky situations. Whether you wanted to or not, you're actually very skilled and talented at that, and it's because of what you've experienced on your journey. Okay, wow, that was already a lot. Let's get into it. Let's see what the tarot is going to say. We're going to use the Osho Zen today. Alright, Source, what is pile number 2's vibe? What is pile number 2's vibe, Source? What would you like to share with us? Yeah, it's almost like you found peace through all the violence. You found peace and harmony through all the destruction. It created a situation where you had to find inner peace within yourself, and because you're vibrating that inner peace out, you're able to bring peace into situations that otherwise wouldn't have found peace. We have the 6 of Swords with a burden. Yeah, didn't I just say that? Like, it's a burden. It's something that you've taken on, and while most people wouldn't, this is not a burden that people would want to carry. Your skill set is not something that people want. People aren't out here fighting for it. It's impressive. It's incredibly impressive, pile number 2, that you're able to do this. But most people are like, I'm glad it's pile number 2. You know, it's kind of like that idea of, like, you want to be a doctor or a surgeon or something. Well, it's good for you. It's impressive that you want to be that, but I don't, because I don't think I could do it. You know, that type of energy. And that's exactly what's going on here. It's like people see you and they're so grateful that you have this. They're so grateful that you're capable of doing this. But they also see it as a great burden that you've taken on, and that you have somehow mastered along the way. And they realize that they're also a part of that burden, but they still want the benefits that you offer by giving them that healing, because where else am I going to get that? Right? And so that's what's coming through. Yeah, with morality, we have the Queen of Swords. You're a very honest person. A lot of Libra energy coming through. You could have Libra highly aspect in your chart. You could have 10th house in Libra as well coming in here. You could have the 8th house in Libra. You'd have Saturn in the 7th house as well. These are just a few that are coming through right away, but heavy Libra energy here. You're very honest and you see both sides. It's like, but look, if you look at this energy, it does feel very trapped, like very much like a trap, like a cage. My hands are tied. My hands are binded in this situation. But you also don't like injustice. You don't like things to go awry. You don't like when people are being unfair. You don't like people to argue about things. And I feel like for a time, maybe you were trying to control situations because of this talent, this gift. I'm going to call it a gift. I know it's a burden at times. I know it's a gift and a curse, but it really is a gift. This is something that if we had more people who did this in the world, we might be different, right? There might be a lot more different energy going out, because there's somebody who is capable of seeing both sides and bringing people to a mutual agreement. And so with your gift, it's like, while it's binding, it's also this feeling of like being deeply unsettled by situations that are unfair, or people who are trying to one up another person, or get one over on another person. That's what this feels like. And so it's something that you're not afraid to carry. It's something that you're not afraid to take on, because you know the direction to go when it comes to this situation. And that's your vibe. Like, you just know, and you're not afraid to do the hard things. You could be in the legal industry as well. Like, you could be a lawyer, a paralegal, you could be a secretary for a legal office, you know, like anything to do with the law. You could be in the law side of things. You could be a judge, Supreme Court. That would be awesome if Supreme Court is watching my channel. Wow, that would be amazing. And you don't have to acknowledge that down below, but wow, that would be really cool. Anyways, so you could just be in that situation where it's like, I want things to be fair always. And so you're almost like a conversational vigilante in some ways. You hijack conversations, but you bring them to justice right away. And people will let you do that because that's your vibe. Yeah, we have the World card here. Wow. Okay, and we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, a lot of Libra energy here. A lot. See, this postponement card here with the Four of Swords, that's what it is. It's like when situations are not in balance, it leaves you feeling as though something is wrong. Like, and I feel like that's what you help people with. You help them with dealing with their shadow. You help them see a situation from a different way that they wouldn't have otherwise seen. Like, maybe what they're seeing as a toxic situation is actually both parties playing a toxic situation, right? Or maybe what someone is saying, like someone doesn't deserve forgiveness, maybe you're able to help them see both sides of the story. To put the shoe on the other foot. You help them complete the puzzle, in other words, here with the World card. You help them recognize that it's not all black and white. There's a lot of grayscale here, and if we don't lean into the grayscale, we're going to miss out on valuable lessons and experiences. And I feel like that's something that really drives you, is realizing that all the hardships that you've been through have also come with a blessing, or with a sense of freedom, or with some understanding or understanding that has given you headway to being who you are and connecting more with your journey. I feel like you had to put back the pieces of yourself, and where you are a complete whole being, you're also seeing the beauty in the cracks. And those cracks are what are helping others find resonance with you as well. So when you share parts of your journey, when you share parts of your story, it helps others resonate with you on a much deeper level. Like, I identify with the same things that you've been through, or they can relate to the things that you've been through. And you seem more human than ever, right? Because that's what really makes us human, or experiences that are very relatable to others, right? And that's a very human thing. We're looking for someone we can relate to, that we can be inspired by. And I feel like you inspire the people that are around you because you're able to help them relate to the situation from a different perspective, a different point of view. So your vibe is naturally like the peacekeeper, the law instiller, like the justice system. Like you're helping people find a sense of balance on their journey, a sense of balance and harmony in this journey. And otherwise they wouldn't have had that. They wouldn't have forgiven that person, or they wouldn't have found clarity that they needed to move on, or they wouldn't have been able to free themselves from the situation. They would have always been bound by their one-sided, closed-minded perspective. So you're helping people open up their mind. You're helping people to see the bigger picture, right? With the World card here. And I feel like you're not just doing it with people at home. Like, I feel like you're doing it with everybody that you connect with. Maybe you travel a lot and you're doing it with people around the world too, with the World card here. That's a very specific message, I know. But even if you don't travel a lot, maybe you're a truck driver. Ooh, that came in. Maybe you're a truck driver, or you deliver. And so you're constantly seeing people, and you somehow unknowingly to yourself get involved in these situations. I feel like Source is helping you to travel certain places so that you can be the person that helps trigger a change in perception of situations. Like, even if it's good or bad, right? It's two sides of the same coin. So you're helping somebody when they only see that I'm the good one, and they're the bad one. You're helping them to see that, no, you're actually the same side of the same coin. And that's healing, and it's freeing them from, I heard purgatory. Interesting that would come through. Like some sense of spiritual purgatory, like internal entrapment is what I'm hearing. And so you're freeing them from that. But it's something that, like, when you see it, it's unsettling to you. It's almost like your spirit can't be at peace when things aren't at peace. And that's why I feel like it might feel like a curse to you. It might be like, no, this is like definitely a curse. It's very, it's just so annoying. Like, why do I got to do it? But also at the same time, you're seeing that this is a huge strength for yourself as well. So let's see what else comes through. What else would you like to say, Source? What is pile number 1's vibe? Or I'm sorry, pile number 2's vibe. My apologies. Pile number 2's vibe. Like, we got Chiron flipping over here. Hurt and heal. So this is the wounded healer, right? But that's why I said I feel like this is confirming that you've been through so much. You've had to go through an unsurmountable amount of hardships and impossible situations. And it's just given you a clear mind for what is fair. And maybe both situations. Maybe you've been on both sides of the situation, both the quote-unquote good and both the quote-unquote bad, right? Maybe you've had situations where you've been the good guy or where you've been the bad guy, and that has given you an insight as to both sides of the story, where, you know, maybe you did something to someone that someone did to you, and you could see why they did it and understand why they did it, and recognize that, you know, we can hold that person in a state of anger and resentment, but ultimately we're only hurting ourselves, and you're helping other people to see that. The challenges are where the freedom lies. We have water sign, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio with spirituality, emotion, intuition, and compassion. Yeah, you're helping others to embrace a deep sense of compassion. Much easier said than done, right? Compassion is the one thing that drives us. It's our true nature, to live in a state of compassion, but we've drawn so far away from our true nature that now everybody's living in a sense of hate, resentment, anger. And so to come back to that state of compassion, to be able to bring someone back to that, it's almost like a fishing hook, right? Like you've hooked them and you're reeling them back to their compassion, but it's their spirit that's really doing all that work for you. You're just the vessel through which the message is being brought. fog, veiled. Yeah, you're helping people see things clearly. Things they weren't able to see before. You're bringing it into the light. Things they were like, no, I don't want to see that. No, that's not how it is. No. And you're like, no, but you're not opening up to the truth of it. And you're helping them open up to a deeper truth of it. And it's almost like the light bulb going off. Oh, I see what you're saying, pile number 2. So that's your vibe. The Watcher, Snow Leopard. Okay, so this is interesting because I do feel like there's people who are watching you, and not in a bad way, not like spying on you or anything like that. I feel like this could be the spiritual world that's watching you and helping you get to the people that need you the most. They have a huge plan for you. And also I feel like there's somebody here, there's a group of people here that are watching and to see how you deal with every situation that comes on, and they're going to be mentioning something soon. So you could be getting a communication from somebody soon, someone that's been watching how you show up, and that could be at work, it could be in life in general, it could be online. So I feel like there's a situation where you have really had to go out of your way to continue to maintain a sense of balance, but it's become so easy for you now. It's just something that you do it naturally. And there's people who are watching that, or maybe even people who are trying to instigate it, and you're showing up in a very graceful and elegant manner, and I feel like they're going to start mentioning something about it here. We have the Shark. Trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. Yeah, you're definitely in a place of trusting your instincts. Like, this is something that's very instinctual to you. It's in your nature. There's no changing that about you. That's why it comes so easily to you. And I feel like even if you were to stop and think about it, the situations where you found peace and harmony, or were able to balance out things and bring justice to situations, if you were to really stop and think about those situations, I bet you would notice that they actually give you energy. It's something that gives you energy. It's something that fills you back up without realizing it. It's not that it's not exhausting, but I do feel like there's a sense of energy and like fulfillment that comes from that for you. We have Ladybug. This is a time of good fortune and abundance, so be willing to receive all good things in life. So this feels like somebody's going to come in with a message for you soon. They got something for you, pile 2. They want to talk to you about something, and that could be, offering you a job. It could be offering you an opportunity, maybe needing advice or assistance. Always listen to your discernment. You have an amazing gift of discernment, so trust that. Now is a lucky time. We have 2 cards. Now is a lucky time, a time of fortune and abundance. Yeah, I do. I feel like someone is going to come in and offer you something amazing. I really do. I feel like they're going to come in and offer you something, and you're going to be like, whoa. So maybe some sort of job or position that is in regards to this. That might seem overwhelming at first, but I do feel like it's going to be something that serves you well. Passion. You're going to have a passion for it. Like, I really feel like you might not see it just yet, but I do feel like you have a passion for this. Like, helping people see a deeper truth, helping people see both sides of the situation. Look, I cannot with you right now, Source. We have the 10th house coming out. Keep it professional. Yeah, there's something here. I feel like it's meant to be a part of your journey. Is this gift. Your vibe right now is actually going to be a leading part on your journey. I know we're talking about it as a gift, but it's where your vibe's at. You're embodying it fully. Earth, stay grounded. Yeah, this is going to help you feel a lot better too. The more you ground your energy, the better you're going to feel overall. I think easier it will be for you to show up. So whatever it is that you need to ground, dancing, meditation, yoga, working out, spending time in nature, all these things, that's going to help you ground. We have worry flying out. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. I feel like you're helping people deal with a deep sense of worry as well. Or you might worry oftentimes about this, like, how am I going to make a profession out of this? Or how is this going to impact me in the long run? But ultimately, it's your instincts, and you should trust that, and trust that it's going to get you far in life. Empathy. I'm opening up to seeing both sides of a situation. I love you, Source. Thank you so much. That's just it. You're helping people see both sides of the coin. You're helping them see that. And helping them understand that is life. There's not, it's like, of course there's your story, but there's also another story, right? Like, every situation and every circumstance in life has 2 sides. There's 2 stories. There's 2 different perspectives. There's 2 different emotions. There's different feelings, but when we're able to put the shoe on the other foot and see where the other person is coming from, that helps us reconnect to our humanity and really begin to understand people and come from that place of compassion. And that's exactly what your vibe is right now. We have Capricorn energy, ambition, realism, and methodical steps. It took a long time for you to master this, but it's a part of you now, and it is very much your vibe. You might be like, how does that have to do with my vibe? But that's it. You're just the peacekeeper. Not just, I shouldn't say that. You are the peacekeeper. Forest, breath. This is something I feel like at times maybe in the past you ran away from. It was so scary. It was something that's like, or there were situations in the past that made you feel like you were in the fight or flight energy, and that's why you developed this. You know, with empathy, empathy is often a developed skill to save ourselves from stressful situations, right? So I feel like this is something that you developed from those hardships that you went through. And there were a lot of fight or flight energies, right? With the Chiron energy here, there were a lot of fight or flight situations going on, but it helped you develop a sense of groundedness and seeing that this is something that I can do. I can actually keep the peace. I can actually shift the energy in a very powerful way. 22:02 on the clock. We got Shark from two different source coming in, swinging. This is a home run, pile 2, home run. We got Shark with purpose. This is a part of your path of purpose. Like, you're walking your path of purpose. The more you lean into this, the more that you lean into this balance, this harmony, this being a peacekeeper, the more you're going to feel a sense of fulfillment. I really get that sense, that feeling. Look, we got dolphin. This and that are true. This is what you help people see. Both sides are true. It doesn't mean that one person's right and one person's wrong, because if you think that person's wrong, then that person thinks that you're wrong, but both of you think the other is wrong. When both situations are true, you're helping them to see that. This is your vibe. You help people see that. And we got number 20, trusting the process. Consciousness. You're helping people bring light to consciousness. Bring it into the awareness, the shadow parts of themselves into awareness, the things that like that. No, they're wrong. That's part of our subconscious, right? Our emotional ego putting the truth into our subconscious so that we can't see it. So when you illuminate that truth, it has nowhere to go but the consciousness. Stop. Wow, this is powerful. You help people stop. You're literally stopping journeys in their tracks and rerouting them. And that might seem strange, but it's true. It's like people are going, when you're going down a road and you don't know where you're going, right? And that's exactly what people are. They're listening to their emotional ego. They're letting their emotional ego guide them. And you stop that in its tracks. You come in as this peacekeeper and you stop people from continuing on this negative journey, on this negative road. Whoa, that is so powerful. Let's take a look at your Healing the Inner Child Oracle. We'll see what this says. Ancestors. Oh my goodness. So you may work with your ancestors quite a bit here. I do feel like your ancestors are the ones that are helping to guide this. They're helping you go down this journey. They're helping you help others on this journey, right? Everybody's in the boat here, right? We're all in the same boat. You're helping others to see that part of the journey. It's like when people, it's hard sometimes on this human journey to see everyone as going through similar situations as us, right? They all have their own journey, but it's hard for us to see that everybody's going on a similar situation or a similar journey as us. And so oftentimes we'll try to distance ourselves and say, mine is worse. What I'm going through is worse. You could never understand. But the truth is that many people understand because many people have dealt with those hardships themselves. It says, you may not be thinking about your ancestors. Okay, if I can pick up this card. But your ancestors are thinking about you. We don't just inherit our hair color from our parents and grandparents. We also inherit beliefs, limitations, gifts, and unfulfilled dreams. We also inherit stress, responses, and fears that are passed down until they can be seen and resolved. If an emotion you feel is overwhelming and feels bigger than your life experience, it is possible that you are carrying it for your lineage. This card is an invitation to focus on that lineage. What or who is missing in your lineage? Is there a person who is excluded? Was an emotion not accepted or valued or pushed aside? Is there a family secret? Anything that is hidden or excluded will travel down the generations until it is given a place and acknowledged. This is the work of healing inherited trauma. As Maureen Seleny explains in her book, Connected Fates, Separate Destinies, the lives of those who have come before you, both dead and still living, some of whom you may have never known, can and do actively shape your life as you live it now. Every child longs to belong. You will unconsciously take on some of the family's unhealed trauma out of love. This card invites you to recognize each one of your ancestors, giving them a place so that you might release what doesn't belong to you and claim what does. That's the thing. Hold on, let's see. It says, if you look deeply into the palm of your hand, you will see all of your parents and all generations of your ancestors. All of them are alive in this moment. Each is present in your body. You are the continuation of each of these people. And I'm not sure how to say his name. It's Thich Nhat Hanh, I think, if you can see that there, right there. Okay, so the thing is that you're helping others stop generational curses in their track by being the way that you are. You're bringing in this sense of compassion. You're helping others to see both sides of the story. So maybe you're helping people heal from the father wound or the mother wound or from broken hearts or whatever it is. I feel like you have a wide range of things that you help people with, and maybe unknowingly. It's just you being you. But the thing is that you doing this is helping others to stop those generational curses from being their burden. Right away, you're giving them the light. And in giving them the light, they're able to bring that into the consciousness, which heals it right away. Right? Facing it is healing it. And you are so good at this. It's absolutely insane, but this is your vibe. You're just so powerful, and you are the peacekeeper, and you're creating switches and changes in people's lives when you connect with them. I'm so honored to be able to connect with you, Pile 2. Truly, truly a very special, magnificent soul. This is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the two little footprints, on the journey, the footprints journey, down below, and say, I am the peacekeeper through which I help others heal deep wounding and karma by bringing it forward into the consciousness to face in this moment. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, source, and my spirit guides. And a special shout out to your ancestors for coming through on this reading today, because they're here. And with that being said, until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Mercury on it, if you were drawn to this shard of crystal quartz, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what is your vibe. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey. Truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And if you are new here, we do things completely differently here. So just suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. And if the messages do resonate with you along the way, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll see what is pile number 3's vibe right now, source. What messages would you like to share with us? What is pile number 3's vibe? What would you like to say, source? What is pile number 3's vibe? Okay, so we've got the 10th house, we've got Virgo energy, and you got Venus. Very magnetic, very attractive, very hardworking and disciplined. You are the epitome of doing what it takes. to get where you need to go. I'm going to move the camera just a tad here. And still, you're humble, right? You're very modest and very humble. You're not trying to rub it in everybody's faces that you're noticing how magnetic you are. Like, you're very modest about it. You're very modest about being liked by everybody, or seen by everybody, or even praised by everybody, and getting recognized. Well, I do feel like you're very stable, and you know your worth. You know your value. And that is something that also, driving back to this Virgo energy, is that being modest and knowing your value that's a very attractive trait, right? That's a very attractive vibration to be in. And that's what's making you incredibly magnetic, because you're not afraid to stand in that power of knowing your worth, and also knowing that you don't have to be like lording that over people. You're incredibly patient. This patience gives people space to be themselves and to not feel judged by you. I feel like you're not a very judgmental person. Maybe you were at one point. I do feel like that's something that you've healed, and that's something you've worked greatly on. It could also be the kind of position that you have, the work that you do. It puts you in a state where you have learned that judgment doesn't get you very far. And that could be in, like, the medical field is coming through really strongly, like being a nurse, a traveling nurse, I heard, doing something in the medical field, maybe pharmacy work or something like that. If not, then that is just a very specific message for someone here. But that's the example that they're also giving me, is like, if you work as a nurse, or the dental, like being a dentist assistant, or a dentist. Like, it's like you're seeing so many people who maybe they should have come in a lot sooner to take care of their health, and they're already judging themselves harshly because of their fear, or because, of course I should have done this like 2 years ago, but I didn't. And you're recognizing that there's a lot of people who experience a lot of different emotions on their journey, and you give them space to show up in that energy, but also you're not taking that energy on, right? You're drawing a line. Like, it's okay for you to share your troubles with me. It's okay for you to share your experience with me, but also knowing that that's not yours to carry. And that's also what makes you very attractive, is because you know where to draw the line in the sand. And when people start to try to burden you with their problems, you know how to create a very solid boundary there, which your vibe becomes very powerful, because it's, you treat me with the respect that I have set, not with what you think you're going to get away with. And that's a very powerful vibration to be in. Wow. All right, so let's see here. I also feel you're very grounded. You have 10th house, which is Capricorn energy. You have Virgo energy here, and you have Taurus energy with the Venus energy, also Libra. But very grounded energy, very earthy energy. You could be an earth sign, a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or have that highly aspect in your chart. You could have your 10th house in Libra. You could have your 10th house in Virgo. I'm also hearing 10th house in Scorpios coming through as well. You'd have a moon in Scorpio, moon in Sagittarius as well, okay? So that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing. Let's get some Osho Zen on it and see what else comes through. So, Source, what is pile number 3's vibe? I loved all of these piles so far. They've been this has probably been one of the funnest readings I've done in a long time. And I'm so glad that I got this channel message to do this one. Source, what is pile number 3's vibe? What is pile number 3's vibe? Yeah, you light up the dark. What is pile number 3's vibe, Source? Okay, so we've got the Page of Swords coming in here. This is a very chaotic energy, right? Like, look at this image. All this stuff going on, not knowing what to say, or maybe Word vomit comes to mind with this card as well for me, and just not being able to see clearly. So I feel like that goes back to what I was feeling earlier with your energies, that there's a lot of people who bring their problems to you, or maybe you're in therapy, they bring what's going on in their life, but you're also very aware of where you're ending and where this person or these people begin. And regardless of how chaotic they're of an energy that they might be in, you are coming from a very grounded and stable place. We do have Capricorn energy here with the Devil coming out and conditioning. Let's get the last one here, Source. What is pile number 3's vibe? Okay. So with this card, I was hearing like you're really good at blending in. But when you need to stand out, you will. You don't have a problem standing out. But there's a lot of things that you've been through that other people have been through. And so you can blend in. But the difference is that you embody this power, this incredible power. Very interesting. On the bottom, suppression with the 10 of Wands. Yeah, you carry a heavy burden. I feel like you're helping people heal. That's why I'm saying like the health industry, some sort of mental health, emotional health. It could be spiritual well-being and health. It could be anything like that, but that's what it feels like here. And if not, it's just that maybe you work in customer service where you're hearing a lot of people having to deal with a lot of difficulties, and before maybe taking that on, before maybe holding that on, your own energy, and having to learn where to set those boundaries. Like, it's okay for me to listen to someone's problems. It's okay for me to listen to someone's situation, but it's not okay for me to take that on. Oh, I needed a drink of water. And so your vibe right now is that very, very powerful place where I can relate, but I also know that it's okay for me to step aside and be different and not be so caught up in the chaos. Wow. Yeah, intensity with the Knight of Wands coming in here. Interesting. I just feel like, and the Devil energy can talk about like being a workaholic or something like that as well, but it can talk about working really hard and being determined, and the 10th house talks about working really hard and being determined as well. And I feel like this is just saying like you work really hard to get to where you are on your journey, and to have that respect and to deserve that respect, which we've always deserved, right? Like, you've always deserved that respect. But to get to that space where you're like, no, I'm setting the tone for this, and that's your vibe right now. Yeah, there's like a paradox and contradictions. There's a lot of things that are paradox with you, and there's a lot of contradictions, but it all makes sense. And I feel like maybe you are moving on from past trauma here and using that past trauma as a way to help others heal from their own burdens and their own hardships that they've gone through. Helping them see that they don't have to carry that. Helping them also see that they can have very strong boundaries with people who otherwise wouldn't have honored those boundaries, right? That there's a pure intention here, and the pure intention is to help someone find their own power. And that's the vibe you're in, is setting the tone, showing others how it's done, and then leading by example. And because you're leading by example, people are drawn to you and they want to share with you. This really does feel like they're scared. There's been a lot of fear that they've gone through. There's been a lot of chaos and turmoil that they've gone through, and your vibe is what brings them out of their shell. And then when you bring them out of their shell, suddenly it's very intense. Like, they're very much sharing things that you didn't know a person would share or could share, and Coulda, woulda, shoulda. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck? I can't even do it. Anyways, okay, woodchuck. I don't know why that's coming out. So yeah, tongue twisters. These are things that leave you twisted, or these are things that once left you twisted, and you've had to learn how to not identify with someone else's hardships or with someone else's difficulties. Instead, there's this drawing away and being unattached while still showing up in a space of compassion and kindness. And it's all because you yourself have had to overcome maybe something similar or something that mirrors that, right? That mirrors that energy. Yeah, tuning in with the Four of Cups here. You've had to tune in and listen to your higher self amidst the chaos. And find stability within yourself, emotional stability within yourself, when maybe situations outside of you were completely unstable, or trying to make you feel small, or trying to put you in a box. And you had to find freedom from that. So your vibe is actually very, very, you're intimidating. And it's very intense. But you're not so intimidating that you push people away. You push probably the people you want to push away. But the people that your gifts or your skills are useful for are the people who, yes, you're intimidating, but you're intimidating in a way like they look up to you. They're inspired by you. And that's why it's very intense. This energy is very intense. It's very, very strong. You know, and with this devil, I keep getting that, like, while you have the mentality of a lion, you can still have the heart of a lamb. Like, you're still this very calm and good-nurtured and good-natured person. But if you need to, you can absolutely bite the bullet, right? You can absolutely come in with a fierceness. But people, they feel like they can open up to you because your vibe is so... because it's so grounded. It's just a very grounded energy that gives them the opportunity to share things with you that have been a burden or that have been overwhelming for them, and that helps them to tune in as well, to heal. Yeah, and to reflect on the things that they've been through. Yeah, interesting. What a cool energy. Maybe you don't see it that way, but it is. It's a very calming energy. You have a very calming vibe about you. And that's what makes you very welcoming. Let's see what else comes through here. All right, Source, what is pile number 3's vibe? What more would you like to say? Yeah, the 6th house came out. So we have establishing foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. Didn't I say there's something to do with health here? I feel like for many of you, you work in the health industry, and that could be as anything in the health industry. And for those of you that doesn't vibe with, and that's okay. Maybe you are just really adamant about taking care of your emotional health, your mental health, your physical health, and you inspire others in those arenas, right? So like if you go to the gym, you're inspiring others, and that's why they feel like they can share with you. That's the example here. So we have Venus on the bottom. Give and receive love, find value and see beauty. Venus energy, yeah, you're a pearl. You're a pearl to people. You're a rarity. Energy like yours is 1 in a million. It doesn't come around very often, and people are grateful for it, and other people are repelled by it, and that's okay. Island, solitude. So I do feel like you do spend a lot of time alone, but I feel like that's just to reconnect with yourself, to reground yourself, and to reconnect with your authentic self as well. Not taking on these burdens, like especially if you're in, say, the healthcare or mental well-being, you know, being a therapist or something. That's a lot to take on as a person. You're hearing stories and situations that people have gone through, and that can be very challenging. And so taking that time is vital for you to reconnect. But it's also helped you establish a solid boundary, right? Those foundational boundaries that you need. Responsibility with Meerkat, yeah. You're helping people see the color in life again. So your vibe is so loving and nurturing, but also very beautiful, that you help give color back to people. Where their lives were dull, they're no longer dull. They're in Technicolor now. Okay, so we've got Falcon and Camel. So we have Peregrine Falcon with act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without equivocation. And then we have Camel, trust that you have the resources to get you through the challenges before you. Yeah, okay, so you're committed to something. I feel this energy coming through, like your vibe is where it's at because every chance you get to set a boundary or to increase your strength, you do. You don't question it. Spider, trust the creative spark that you're feeling and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. So again, this energy, you're getting told stories. I feel like that's just what this is saying. The spider is just that confirmation. You're getting told stories. You're getting told people's lives. And those stories can be very difficult. They can be very heavy. Can be very harrowing at times. We have Lizard Spirit on the bottom. Dream the world into being. Maybe this is something you've always wanted to do. You've always wanted to help people in this way, but you always felt like it was impossible because of that being heavy, right? That's heavy, taking that on, that type of energy. And now you're realizing, like, I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. And so that's making your vibe even higher and brighter and drawing even more people to you and helping more people. I do feel like you're just naturally a healer. Alright, what's on the bottom here? Space. Didn't I say at the beginning you give space to people just to be who they are? I am 100% positive I said that on your reading. You give people space to be as they are. Right? Like when they're scared, you just give them space to show up. You're not over here trying to judge them or be cruel to them or make them feel insignificant or like something's wrong with them. You instead open up and give them the space that they need so that they can be who they need to be. So we have Capricorn, buckle down and get to work. Wow, you got a whole bunch of them here. Yeah, so I feel like you, again, with the devil in the 10th house here and Capricorn coming out, you're just a very hard worker and it's taken you a long time to get to the place that you're at. We have Gemini with change your mind. Maybe this wasn't what you always wanted to do, but you've learned that changing your mind is healthy. We have Cancer, soften your heart. Yeah, you're very compassionate. And that shows. Your compassion shows to everybody who comes into contact with you, and that's a part of who you are. We have Air, take a bird's eye view. Yeah, this comes back to that space card. Right? Like you giving space to others. Like you're seeing it from a much higher perspective. From a healed perspective. From a place of compassion and love. It's no reason to judge someone for where they're at in life. This is just where they're at on their journey. We have Cusp, break on through, baby. And you give people courage to break through the hardships. It's your energy and your vibe is what helps them see things in a different way. But the space is the thing that's the most important because it's not you necessarily guiding them to what's right. It's the fact that you give them space, pile number 3, and that space is what helps them connect with their own solution. And sometimes we don't recognize how powerful that is on our journey, is allowing space for people to find their own answers, their own solution. But you found that out because when you had space for yourself, right, the solitude, that gives you the space to connect with your own answers, your own intuition. you know that giving others space to do the same is the most healing thing that you can do. Health. Wow. Whoa. Okay. Let's just be in it to win it here. That's amazing. We have, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So health coming out multiple times in your reading already. Oh my gosh. I love that. And underneath that, success. I know that there's no greater goal than to love. Yeah, and you're sitting in this space of love. But love has taught you to give others space to be who they are, like toxic or not toxic, compassionate, loving, kind, disconnected, or disassociated, or unbothered. It doesn't matter how a person shows up. You give them space to be who they are, and in turn, that makes them feel safe and inspired by you. Vigilance with stone people. This is something you've worked really hard at. Yeah, you've been vigilant on the journey. You've been unmoving towards this journey as well. So regardless of where you're at or what it is that you're doing, this is just something that you've put so much energy and effort into. This is something that you've worked really hard towards. Peregrine Falcon again. Wow, we have observation. Yeah, intuition. You have a very deep sense, a very keen observation of what people are going through. It's like you may be able to pinpoint exactly what people are feeling or experiencing. But again, giving them that space helps them connect with their third eye, helps them connect with their own internal guidance system. What more could you want? You know, of course people want you to solve problems. Of course people want to be given the answers. But the most powerful thing that we can do is allow someone space to find that for themselves. Because when they find it for themselves the first time, then they're going to be able to do it a second time. And if that person that gave them the answer isn't around, they're going to be lost, right? And so you're giving people hope, and your vibe helps give them the freedom, because your vibe is space, openness, compassion. Coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. That's an interesting energy, because the coyote is often looked at as the trickster, right? And it's known in Native American cultures as the trickster, and one thing to not trust in. And I feel like there's a lot of people who may try to trick you into giving them the answer. There's a lot of people who try to trick you into being the solution for them. But because you're so good at giving yourself space, you're not tricked. You're never tricked. You're very aware of what people are coming in, what energy they're coming in. And you actually end up putting them back into their own journey, even though they were trying to take a detour. And so it's like Source won't let you take on their... BS is coming through, but it's deeper than that. They won't let you take on their problems anymore. They won't let you take on other people's problems anymore, because now it's literally like you had an opportunity, but now it's you figuring it out for yourself, because you can't always rely on someone else to figure it out for you, even though people like to. Yeah, sadness. Okay, this makes sense. So you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot of hardships. You've been through a lot of heavy things. But I also feel like people bring their sadness to you. They bring their hearts to you. Like they bring their broken hearts to you. They bring their hard stories to you, right? Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Yeah. So I do feel like you're not a judgmental person. I do feel like you just realize like there's no space for judgment in what I do. Even though it would be so easy for you to judge people and the lives that they've lived or the things that they've done. Like, say they haven't gone to the dentist in 12 years and you work as a dental assistant. And yeah, while that might bring its own problems, you realize, like, judging this person, I don't know their backstory. I don't know their story at all. Maybe they have been homeless and they just finally got a job and they're finally getting settled, or maybe they've just not had the money, or they've been too busy, right? Like, you're seeing that this person has a life outside of this one visit to the doctor's office, right? Or the dentist's office. Like, that's what it feels like. You're recognizing there's no room for judgment, even though whatever it is that you do, there would be plenty of people in your position who might judge and judge harshly. But you're recognizing that they have their own path, and to get where they are now, like, you know, that's not my place to say if that was right or wrong. They had to do what was right or wrong for themselves. Look, exactly. Let's get with it, Source. We have acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. Yeah, you're very accepting. And really that shows, like, your vibe is acceptance. Your vibe is compassion. Your vibe is space. And the space is what brings out that acceptance, because instead of telling them, oh, well, maybe you should have done this, or why didn't you do that? It's like when someone's telling you something, you listen intently, you're very present, and you may repeat back what they've said to you just so that they understand that you absolutely heard what they said. You make people feel validated by giving them space. It's like, the one thing that everybody thinks is what invalidates us is actually the one thing that validates us the most. And so all those things that they've been through, you give them this space that they didn't know they needed. And that gives them the opportunity to do exactly what you did, which was tune in. Tune in and silence the chaos in the mind. Wow. That's really cool. All right, so let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. Play. Oh, I love this. You're like this very lighthearted energy, but I feel like this helps you to bring a sense of play back into people's lives. To really connect. You know, when we were talking about what your inner child has to do, like how your inner child is impacting your journey. And for play to come out, this may be something like, I was hearing child's play when it came up, you know, like that's child's play. Like you're realizing space is the most important thing there is. That's child's play. But it's also the one thing that eludes so many people. So we have, play is the work of the child. It is through play that children practice interacting with the world, and it is through play that they discover the joy of creativity and imagination. This card invites you to reconnect with the wonder in play. Play allows us to step outside of the confines of our adult lives and reclaim our essence. Sages and masters throughout time have shown us ways to become more playful, innocent, to return to the wide-eyed wonder of childhood while retaining our conscious adult awareness. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. George Bernard Shaw. See, it says your inner child has no problem jumping in to show you how to play. So I feel like the thing is here is that you help others find a sense of wonderment in their own journey, in the hardships that they're experiencing, in the difficulties that they're going through by giving them this space. But it also is giving them a chance to reconnect with that inner child, because you're giving them space to connect with their imagination. And that's where most of our solutions come from, is our intuition, which is connected. Our third eye is connected to imagination. And imagination has been something that has been, it has a bad rep as an adult. Like, oh, you're too old to have an imagination. That is not true. And so maybe you do help bring that sense of play into their lives as well, but I do feel like it's just reconnecting with imagination, and reconnecting with their imagination makes them feel more accepted, because that's who we are at our roots, is this playful, loving spirit that's residing here in this human experience for a very short, finite amount of time. And ultimately, at the end of the day, what are we? We are space. We are everything. We are nothing. We are all, and we are nowhere and everywhere, and we exist and we don't exist. It's a huge paradox. Didn't we talk about that earlier, your paradox? Why did that come out? Maybe that was a different pile. But there's like this energy that's coming in where you're really, truly helping others lean in to this deeper truth of who we are. And so your vibe is space. You vibrate what home is, what sources. You vibrate where it's all, we feel welcomed and comfortable, and also we feel intimidated and scared, but brave enough to share parts of ourselves that we wouldn't otherwise share. And I also feel like with this play card, you're helping people reconnect with their inner child. well, even though that's not what this reading was about. But I feel like our inner child plays so much with our vibe and has so much to do with our vibe, and that's why I felt called to use this deck today. But helping them to reconnect with their imagination. I love that. Okay, so this is what I see here for you, pile number 3. If you felt like this was your reading, you can leave the little black heart down below and say, I allow space, release judgment, and open into acceptance so that others can heal and reconnect with their imagination, the leading solver of all our lives. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here, but I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly powerful message. And until next time, stay human, pile 3. Bye.